Alrighty, let's go ahead here for personal reading order number 89. 89, you would like to know thoughts and feelings over the next 3 days. Let's go ahead and see. All right. So we have this Ace of Wands, Three of Wands, Four of Wands, which really wants to create some sort of spark or new direction or passion. So we have this thought process of like, how do we get new energy to come forward? How do we get new opportunities to come ahead? How do we get movement? How do we get flow? How do we get the idea of more to come forward? Right? Really thinking about trying to create some sort of spark of opportunity or spark of connection. So this is them really thinking about connecting with you and trying to bring in some sort of idea of the like spark, right? We want to bring in more. We want to fuel the idea of connecting rather than being in a place where we are feeling held back. But the Two of Pentacles is a back and forth energy, which kind of gives us this and that sort of feel, being a little bit unsure about maybe how to get it to move forward, how to create that flow, or being a little bit unsure if something is truly possible here when it comes to how they like want it to move forward. They can be a little bit unsure if it's like too held back or if it's too maybe like unserious, right? With the idea of the Page of Cups coming forward, too youthful, too jokey, where they're trying to bring in this like fun, passionate, exciting energy, thinking about how they can do that. But then it comes off as like, well, is that the right way to do it, right? The idea of the Two of Pentacles going back and forth. We want closeness, we want connection, we want harmony, but is this truly how we should bring it forward? We don't know, right? So I would say that they're feeling passionate about you, feeling pulled into your energy and feeling care for you, feeling an excitement sort of direction towards you, but also kind of being in this sort of hesitant back and forth energy of thinking about how they should connect with you and being unsure if like a jokey, lighthearted way is the best way to do so, or if they should try to come forward in a little bit more of a serious manner. So we have I see you glowing. So they are coming forward in a more passionate manner. They are trying to come forward in a way that brings more connection or wanting to bring in more excitement. And so when we have this energy of I see you glowing, it's very strongly here with the passion energy of the wands of recognizing your beauty, recognizing your energy, and wanting to bring that into focus. So that's what I would say here with this combination. So if anybody is interested in having a personal reading here today, check out the website, temperanceandsage.com. We are doing the live personal readings here right now. So if you are interested in having a personal reading here today, check it out, temperanceandsage.com for the live personal readings. Alrighty, let's go ahead here with personal reading order number 9090. You would like to know, did Dee and yourself connect in your dreams last night? Let us see. All right. So based on this combination, I would say yes. The Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Wands is a very passionate, valuable energy, which can say that there is a strong connection here, and also that the energy had the opportunity to flow. This may not be something that you can do very often at this particular level, since the Ace of Wands is more of a spark up of opportunity. So there could have been something about the two of you being on the same level, being on the same page for just that one-off instance that kind of made it be the way that it was, especially with the Death card talking about energy changes or just the two of you kind of evolving as individuals, going through life in general. That kind of created this open spark here to make something happen, especially with the idea coming forward here of the star. That star is going to be in a vulnerable state of energy, vulnerable state of being, but it also creates the opportunity for hope and healing energy to come forward. So it seems like it was kind of like right timing to be able to do so, or like maximum timing to be able to do so, that kind of created this spark, created this space to be able to connect and had a strong energy to be able to do so. So I would say yes, based on this combination. It looks like the two of you did connect in their dreams. It does come forward with a very strong spark of energy, but it also comes forward as one of those opportunities that is not quite average to be able to do so. It seems like there was the kind of like excellent storm here of everything kind of involved to be able to create this opportunity, create this experience. But I would say yes, based on this combination. So if anybody is interested in having a personal reading here today, check out the website, temperanceandsage.com. We are doing the live personal readings here right now. So if you are interested in having a personal reading here today, check it out, temperanceandsage.com for the live personal readings. Alrighty, let's go ahead here with personal reading order number 91. So why is there always the issue? Let us see. All right. So when we have the idea coming forward here of the Seven of Wands, the Seven of Wands kind of gives personal pushback, which can be we're kind of recognizing an issue where it doesn't need to be. So this could be like creating a push on a pull door. So sometimes instead of feeding into the issues, we need to take a step back. This is like we have a mean teacher in the classroom. She's mean to us, but we need to recognize that she may be frustrated by teaching, 25 students. She may not be having the best life outside of the class. And so we need to depersonalize the situation. So that's kind of what I see going on here. The Three of Cups wants community. The Six of Cups wants community. The Knight of Cups can say that it can become what we want it to become, that the energy is there to move things forward in a good way. That we can see with the Wheel of Fortune that the energy wants to move forward in a good way as well, that there can be opportunities to see the up come ahead here and find good flowing energy to come forward where things can be more desirable rather than feeling lesser than. But it depends here with the Seven of Wands as to how we navigate the situation. Do we take a push back and we hold back instead of allowing ourselves to push forward? Or do we force something? Do we try to make something to be instead of just allowing the situation to be what it needs to, right? So when we see this style of combination come forward here, it basically says that the issue that's coming ahead here is how we're handling the situation. So if there's always an issue when you are at the house that you are at, you are the common denominator here. So with this Seven of Wands, we have to watch on how we're pushing ahead in a situation instead of allowing ourselves to kind of follow the natural flow and recognize where we could read the situation differently. So let us see, is the assistant manager a troublemaker? Let us see. So I would say no based on this combination. The Ace of Pentacles wants to give value. It doesn't want to take away. It doesn't want to cause issues. It wants to give value. And so when we see that energy coming forward here with the idea of the Nine of Pentacles, they might give value in the way that they want to give value. They might give value in a way that works for them. So it may not be something that kind of looks the same for everybody or rubs everybody the right way, but they're not really having any sort of malicious intent or like trying to be a troublemaker in any sort of way, shape, or form. It just seems like maybe they have a unique way of doing things. And with the Strength card, you're not going to be able to please everybody. The Strength card comes forward as a card that says that we cannot force anything. So this could say that you can't make everybody happy. They may be doing things in the way that they're doing things, and that might rub people the wrong way, but it's still trying to come forward here as them doing the right thing or them trying to show up in a way that brings value. The Queen of Cups also gives the idea of trying to apply our hearts to a situation instead of trying to, again, have any sort of malicious intent. So I don't see them trying to be a troublemaker in any sort of way. I see them being unique in the way that they do go about things, or they might have a sense of unique energy or personality to them, which can kind of maybe rub people in a certain way. With the Knight of Cups being in the reverse, maybe not everybody's dream person, but it seems like they are coming forward here in a way that's not really trying to add negativity to a situation. Instead, it seems like they're trying to come forward in a good way rather than trying to be anything negative. So I would say no based on this combination here. So let's go ahead and see, should you quit this job? So we have the moon card coming forward, and the moon is the absolute only card that I use to signify a no to the question that is being asked. And so I would say no to the idea of quitting the job. Now, we do see with the Fool that maybe we do need to detach from it a little bit. So again, that sort of idea with that Seven of Wands of watching when we're pushing forward or pulling back where we don't need to. So maybe like taking a step back and uninvesting from the job could be a little bit better. um, Kind of watching on how we are applying ourselves, especially with the Three of Cups coming forward. The Three of Cups can create more harmony. It says that there's more possibilities to connect or more possibilities to see good come forward. The Hierophant can be the structures that you build. So it has the structure there to be able to become something that's good. It really just depends on how we're kind of navigating the situation. And then again, the idea of the Chariot, the energy, the momentum that we focus on is the energy that builds. So if we're focusing on the negativities of the situation, that is where it's going to continue to build. That's where it's going to continue to be held back. So I would say no to quitting the job, but maybe changing the mindset or maybe changing how you're kind of like going about the job could definitely bring in a difference when it comes to moving forward. So kind of doing like a reframing could help rather than just leaving it all together. So that's what I would say. So if anybody is interested in having a personal reading here today, check out the website, temperanceandsage.com. We are doing the live personal readings here right now. So if you're interested in having a personal reading here today, check out the website, temperanceandsage.com, for the live personal readings. All right, let's go ahead here with 92. 92, you'd like to know, do they have a personal problem with you? Let us see. Regardless if they have a problem with everybody else, the cards are saying for you to take control of that and to not let it be your problem. All right, so based on this combination, I would say no, I don't think that they have a personal problem with you. When we have the idea coming forward here of the Ten of Wands, the Ten of Wands creates the idea of burden. The Ten of Wands holds on to the idea of heaviness. So it's again this sort of idea of like, don't allow something to be weighing you down. Just one second, let me grab my tea here because my throat is closing up. Goodness. All right, so the Ten of Wands is the idea of the heaviness, right? We don't need to allow ourselves to hold on to something. We don't need to allow ourselves to feel that sort of weight or held back. It is really the sort of energy coming forward here of like needing to make sure that we are not kind of holding on to their actions, right? The wands is the idea of the energy. So we need to make sure that we're not holding on to their energy, holding on to their ideas, holding on to the circumstances or the energy around the two of you. And then that kind of weighs you down, making it feel like it's more than what it is. When we have this magician card coming forward, the magician basically talks about it being within your control to change around the circumstances or the situation. But the magician also can talk about goodwill or good energy. So again, this sort of idea of not really having this sort of negative direction when it comes to their energy towards you. The Ace of Cups is also a card of goodwill. The Ace of Cups wants to bring forward good in the situation. The Two of Wands wants to bring forward the opportunities to grow and to connect. The idea that comes forward with the Lovers is also choices and options when it comes to moving forward. So it's kind of like all these things are trying to bring forward good energy or to try to choose the good to come forward. But when we have this Ten of Wands, there might be some sort of heaviness that's getting involved where we are choosing to accumulate the bad. So this can say, instead of recognizing the good that can come forward in the situation, because we already recognize the pattern of bad, we want to hold on to more of the bad. So they might do one good thing today, but they do one bad thing today as well. And so we hold on to that bad thing instead of recognizing the good or resetting ourselves, right? Resetting the each day as a new day, or even with the idea of the Ten of Wands, taking it on as our burden. Oh, they might not be instead of recognizing them as maybe somebody who has a miserable life, we take it on and say, oh, there must be something about me that they don't like that is causing them to react this way, because if they're reacting this way to me, it must be something about me. It's like, no, they might just be a miserable person. Right? The Ten of Wands comes forward here as that heaviness when it comes to the situation. So you may just be taking on their burden in a way you don't need to. I don't really see them having a personal problem with you. So let's see if they have issues. So I would say that they have issues in the idea of closeness, where they might be somebody who just doesn't allow people to get close, or they might be somebody who is they may not be selective of who they allow close, but they might have a particular personality, way of being that's very selective in terms of who wants to be close to them, right? It's kind of like they might rub people the wrong way, right? The Ten of Pentacles is the idea of family connection or longevity, which can say that with the Knight of Cups coming forward, the Ten of Pentacles, they might be a kind of person that it takes a longer period of time to like them. It might be a kind of person that you have to grow up knowing in order to like them. right? There's that sort of idea that there might be longevity that needs to be involved in order to find them desirable to be around. When we have this Five of Pentacles, Six of Swords, there is a way to get over the situation. There is a way to see a change or to see a difference. Um, Rather than it being something that can be like this for a very long time, especially when we have this Queen of Wands, there may be strong personality, right? And so when we have this combination, it's saying that we can switch things around, we can see things be different. It doesn't always have to be like this. But it seems like maybe they are a personality type that does have issues in connecting with others based off of their strong personality, based off of how maybe they've previously connected with people. I just don't see them having an issue with you. I just see them as being not necessarily an issue themselves, but as being somebody who's just not going to be liked by many, right? And that's just kind of how it's coming forward here. It's not to say that there's anything in particularly that's wrong with them. It's just that they may be somebody that is not everybody's cup of tea, and that's just kind of all that there is, right? That's kind of what I see this going on here. So let's see, how do you not feed her negative energy? So when it comes to the idea of the Ten of Wands, we just don't take on the burden ourselves. So this is a card combination that's really saying that you have the opportunity to go into yourself and be like logical about the situation and then push their energy away, taking on the confidence within self rather than like taking on their burden. So with the Ten of Wands energy, we need to recognize that they may be dealing with things outside in their own world, right? We see them for the interactions that we have with them just in that present moment. We don't see them 24 hours, 7 days a week. We only see them for when we see them. So we have to recognize that they do have an entire life outside of where we kind of, interact with them. And so by not taking on the responsibility of their issues, by not taking on the responsibility of their actions, we kind of distance ourselves by recognizing, hey, they have other things that are going to influence them in acting the way that they've acted. And so when we have this 10 of Wands coming forward, the High Priestess, King of Swords, it's basically like say that they snap at you and they snap at you and they say something rude, or they say you didn't do something correctly. Go, oh, well, they had somebody in their life tell them that this is the way that they should act, right? They had examples in their life that maybe their parents talked to them this way, maybe their cousins talked to them this way, their older siblings talked to them this way, and that's how they've seen and deemed that it's acceptable to talk to other people. So whereas somebody else might take like a sweet approach and say, hey, maybe we want to try something different next time, they go, oh, you did it wrong again, right? And that's just you then reflecting of, oh, they act this way because they've been shown that that's acceptable to act this way. So logicalizing the situation and recognizing that it's not your responsibility to tackle or hold on to or change the way that they speak, they act, or what they do, but kind of recognizing the individual. Oh, they act this way because that's how they've been shown that it's appropriate to act, right? Or they take out their anger. Maybe they didn't have a really good morning this morning. Maybe they had some bad news, right? Distancing themselves, or distancing yourself, I should say, from the ideas that and recognizing the new and having the confidence in yourself can kind of create that sense of distance. So that's what I would say with this combination, just kind of like bringing in the logic to the situation instead of tapping into the emotions removes that negativity. I'll give you an example. I had somebody way back when, this was like 5 years ago. I was just started trying to figure out how to do readings online. I had somebody message me and they wanted to know if they should start their own business or not. And the card said, not right now. It's not really a good time for you to go ahead and start that. You need to learn more, right? And that's all I said. It was written email as well. So it wasn't even a written reading. So it wasn't even something that tone wise, maybe I didn't say it with the happiest tone or the most comforting tone. It was just email. And they chewed me out. They really spat it back and they sent me a whole long message. And then 2 weeks later, they actually came back and apologized and said, "Hey, I was actually looking for the confidence through the tarot. I was looking for that to be my, okay, if the tarot says yes, then I'll do it." And when it said no, they took out all of their anger and wrote that whole email because it was the frustration and the lack of confidence that they had within themselves to actually take action on their dream or take action on their desire or know what to do. And so they came back and apologized afterwards because they said it was so unnecessary for them to write that email and to like dish it out at me. But they had placed so much weight in the basically the tarot saying yes, that was going to be their confidence booster to make it happen. And so that King of Wands energy, right, that taking the confidence back in yourself really removes that negative energy from them because you're not allowing your mood, your idea, your direction of energy to be influenced by their emotional state, right? Just like the email, you take it and you read it and you reflect and you go, oh, this person must have placed a lot of weight on this reading to then have this reaction, right? Things like that. So if anybody is interested in having a personal reading here today, check out the website, temperanceandsage.com. We are doing the live personal readings here right now. So if you are interested in having a personal reading here today, check it out, temperanceandsage.com for the live personal readings. Alrighty, let's go ahead here with 93. 93 is like a general. Let's see what we got going on. All right. So all these cards have to do with the idea of movement and allowing yourself to take your time to go after your desires instead of trying to rush something. So the Seven of Pentacles wants to allow movements to come forward. It wants to create opportunity for you, but it's kind of been recognizing that all the small steps do create something larger. So if you have goals that you want to go into or want to have, then it's important to recognize that it's not just this big end goal and you just have to obtain that big end goal. It's instead this idea of taking the one step at a time to reach something and allow the idea of things to build up to kind of create that opportunity for you instead. Sorry, the dogs are getting a little wild there for a second. So, having that sort of opportunity to build up and kind of create these steps one step at a time creates this energy for more, right? As we're planning here with this Two of Wands and we're thinking about the ways that we can build up, we're thinking about the opportunities that we can take, we're thinking about, the small steps that we can take action on. We're going to find value in that with the Page of Pentacles. So, the more smaller things that you allow yourself to build up with, the more value that you're going to find in the energy around you, the more opportunities that are going to come forward towards you, the more you're going to feel like you're going after the things that you truly want. And it kind of just creates a sort of spinning wheel of opportunity, right? Spinning wheel and movement towards where you truly want to be. It creates this value for building up for tomorrow instead of feeling like something is being held back or that you have to obtain this huge goal. And with the Knight of Cups, you can go after and have these manifestations come forward towards you. But the Six of Swords, it's all about mentality. It's all about how you handle and go after the situation, how you kind of analyze the situation in terms of moving forward. If you look at it as a big situation to handle, a big situation to fix, well, then it's of course going to feel like that. It's going to be that. It's going to represent that. But if you allow yourself to kind of chip away at things one step at a time, it becomes a lot easier to kind of manage, figure out, and do, and also have this point to fall back on, right? Instead of it being like this big hill you gotta jump up, and you gotta get to that sort of end of the cliff. This is you can build up that energy and have something to kind of rely on or support you as you move forward, right? Because you've built up these steps independently to get to where you want to be. So there's more structure in getting to your goals instead of it just feeling like you're, jumping up to that next stage, jumping up to that higher point without the support behind you, right? So that's what I would say here with this reading. So if anybody is interested in having a personal reading here today, check out the website, temperanceandsage.com. We are doing the live personal readings here right now. So if you're interested in having a personal reading here today, check it out, temperanceandsage.com for the live personal readings. Alrighty, let's go ahead here for 94. 94, you'd like to know, has deep thoughts of you. Let us see. All right. So based on this combination here, I would say more in passing than an active thought. The Nine of Swords at the Seven of Wands can be a strong push of energy, like they have other things on their mind, or there's just other things in general that are kind of calling their attention, because this energy seems to be quite busy or quite pushed back rather than being open. The idea of the Justice card can also be separation within the mind here as well. So, kind of holding back in certain ways or kind of leaving things at a distance can also come forward here as well, rather than trying to be active in terms of like sitting there thinking about you or having one thing kind of lead to the idea of you. This seems to be like maybe they have a lot going on their mind or a lot going on day to day for them. And it just seems to be like maybe there is a passing thought of you, but not necessarily being able to go into an active place of thought. Then, when we have the idea of the Page of Cups coming ahead, there is a joyous undertone that comes forward with that as well. So, there is good energy that's coming forward here with the idea of thinking about you. I just don't see it as something that's coming forward very strongly or something that's coming forward here in terms of having like any particular thoughts about you. It seems like more so coming forward in passing thought as they kind of go about with the busyness that's in the rest of their life. So, let us see. Does he miss you? All right. So I would say yes, based on this card combination. The Ten of Swords does come forward with a very difficult ending. And so we do get this sort of idea of feeling a sense of maybe lack of control over the situation or feeling endings, feelings, difficulties. And that comes forward to the point of longing, especially when we see the Page of Pentacles come forward with the Six of Cups. We're recognizing the old, we're recognizing the past, or we're recognizing memories instead of the present moment. And so it does come forward in a point of longing. Now, when we also have the energy coming forward here of the Three of Swords in the reverse, there may not necessarily be something that's coming forward here as them like kind of being worried about it. You know what I mean? When it comes to the idea of missing, there might not be something that's coming forward as how do I want to phrase that? It's like we feel the missing, but it doesn't create a reaction. We're feeling the missing, but it's not creating a pursuit, right? The idea that comes forward with the love, the passions, or more of the options, or more of the choices, rather than coming forward here as like the only option or the only choice. So this is kind of like, oh, feeling the missing energy for you, but it's not like life or death where I need to pursue. It's just recognizing the missing. That's kind of what I see coming forward here when it comes to this combination. So let us see. Will you hang out with him? So I would say yes, based on this combination, but it is something that's coming forward in the distance rather than something coming forward as an immediate energy. When we have the idea of the Justice card coming forward here with the energy of the world, we do have this desire to change around the circumstances, but the world does give forward the idea of cycles rather than something that is going to happen quickly. The Three of Pentacles also talks about building up, it talks about community, and it talks about connection, but the Pentacles are also a card that does come forward with the idea of slow and steady rather than it comes forward in a very quick manner. We do see, though, the Magician as well as the King of Wands, which does come forward in a passion, it does come forward in an excitement, and it does come forward as a card of desire. So I do think that you will hang out with him. I just don't think it's very soon based off this card combination. Now, with the message cards, we do want something to change soon, right? With the very soon card coming forward and trust, this is them basically saying that they do want things to change soon, or they may decide better. That doesn't make any sense in English. They may decide for things to change for the better. The very soon card, I actually based it off of the Romance Angel card, very soon, which is clearly decide what that you want so that it can come towards you very soon. So there's a factor of like needing to decide, needing to figure out, which we saw them come forward as the cards of choices, right? And so they're kind of saying, you know, trust. I feel like things are fated in the way and time and shape and form that it needs to. It'll move forward when it needs to. And they do value friendship. Three of Pentacles has that friendship energy. So they value the idea of connecting. They value the idea of being around each other. They value the idea of hanging out, right? There's a want to be connected, and time flies by when I'm around you. Three of Pentacles also recognizes the idea of value in being connected with each other, right? So they are coming forward here to basically say, I value the idea of pursuit. It just might take me some time to get there. So that's what I would say with this combination here. So if anybody is interested in having a personal reading, check out the website, temperanceandsage.com. We are doing the live personal readings here right now. So if you are interested in having a personal reading here today, check it out, temperanceandsage.com for the live personal readings.